Hare Krishna, thank you for joining. We'll make a start. If anybody else wants to join later on, that is fine. Otherwise, we'll just continue. So thank you, Mataji, for joining. So as you know, we're talking about Priyavrata, the uncle of Dhruv Maharaj, the famous Dhruv Maharaj that we know. And he's been asked to get married, take over the kingdom. His father, Swayambhuva Manu, asked him, but he refused him. Then Brahmaji intervened, and then because he told him that he was the order of the Lord himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now then he agreed to do as asked. And now see what happens from there. So following the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Maharaj Priyavrata fully engaged in worldly affairs. Yet he always thought of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are the cause of liberation from all material attachment. So it's all about the material attachment, isn't it? That's what we struggle with. He ruled the material world just to honor the orders of his superiors. Maharaj Priyavrata not only carried out the order of the Lord Brahma by accepting the duties of government, but also married Barismati, the daughter of Vishwakarma, one of the Prajapatis. Since Maharaj Priyavrata was fully trained in transcendental knowledge, he could have returned home and conducted the business of government as a brahmachari. Instead, however, when he returned to household life, he accepted a wife also. So he was asked actually to take charge of the kingdom, but then he decided to get married as well by what he says here. The principle is that when one becomes a gresta, he must live perfectly in that order, which means he must live peacefully with a wife and children. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's first wife died, his father requested him to marry for a second time. He was 20 years old and was going to take sannyas at the age of 24. Yet, by the request of his mother, he married as long as I am in household life. He told his mother, I must have a wife. For household life does not mean staying in a house. Real household life means living in a house with a wife. Interesting. Sometimes we are criticized because although I am a sannyasi, I have taken part in the marriage ceremonies of my disciples. It must be explained, however, that since we have started a Krishna conscious society, and since a human society must also have ideal marriages, to correctly establish an ideal society, we must take part in marrying some of its members, although we have taken to the path of renunciation. This may be astonishing to persons who are not very interested in establishing Deva Varnashrama, the transcendental system of four social orders and four spiritual orders. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, however, wanted to re-establish Deva Varnashrama, because in Deva Varnashram, there cannot be acknowledgement of social status according to birthright. Because in Bhagavad-Gita, it is said that the determining considerations are guna and karma, not birthright. Guna and karma decide who we actually are. One's qualities and work. So guna as in quality, karma as in our duty, our work that we do. It is this Deva Varnashrama that should be established all over the world to continue a perfect society of Krishna consciousness. Now, this may be astonishing to foolish critics, but it is one of the functions of a Krishna conscious society. So let's pray. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Lam Yate Grim Yat Kirpa Tamam Vande Shri Gurundi Taranam Paramanam Damadvam Shri Chaitanya Ishwar Hariam Tassat Narayam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narotamam Devim Sasvit Vyasam Tato Jayamuduriyat Nashta Presha Abhadureshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shlokya Bhakti Bhavati Neshtaki. Thereafter, Maharaj Priyavrata married Barismati, the daughter of the Prajapati named Vishwakarma, and in her, he begot 10 sons, equal to him in beauty, character, magnanimity, and other qualities. He also begot a daughter, the youngest of all, named Ujaswati. The 10 sons of Maharaj Priyavrata were named Agnidhar, Itmajiva, Yagyabahu, Mahavir, Hiranyareta, Grethprishtha, Savan, Medatithi, Vitihotra, and Kavi. These are also names of Agni, the fire god. So they were all named after the fire god. Three among these 10, so of the 10 sons, namely Kavi, Mahavir, and Savan, lived in complete celibacy. We find that these pastimes, any exalted devotee, they have many children, and you'll find some of them will be celibate. Those trained in brahmachari life from the beginning of childhood, they were very conversant with the highest perfection known as Paramhansa Ashram. So situated in the renounced order from the beginning of their lives, all three of them completely controlled the activities of their senses and thus became great saints. They concentrated their minds always upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality Godhead, who is the resting place of the totality of living entities and who is therefore celebrated as Vasudeva. Lord Vasudeva is the only shelter of those who are actually afraid of material existence. By constantly thinking of his lotus feet, these three sons of Maharaj Priyavrata became advanced in pure devotional service. By the prowess of their devotional service, they could directly perceive the Supreme Personality Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart as the Super Soul, and realize that there was qualitatively no difference between themselves and him. In his other wife, Maharaj Priyavrata begot three sons named Uttam, Tamas, and Revat. All of them later took charge of Manvantara millenniums. So they became Manus, in other words. After Kavi, Mahavir, and Savan were completely trained in Paramahansa stage of life, Maharaj Priyavrata ruled the universe of 11 arbudas of years. When he was determined to fix his arrow upon his boasting with his two powerful arms, all opponents of the relative principles of religious life would flee from his presence in fear of unparalleled prowess he displayed in ruling the universe. So he was very powerful. He greatly loved his wife, Brihismati, and with the increase of days, the exchange of nuptial love also increased. By her feminine behavior, as she dressed herself, walked, got up, smiled, laughed, and glanced about, Queen Brihismati increased his energy. Thus, although he was a great soul, he appeared lost in the feminine conduct of his wife. He behaved with her just like an ordinary man, but actually he was a great soul. He was a great soul, but sometimes you can get carried away with the material energy. Even the great souls can get carried away. So while so excellently ruling the universe, King Priyavrata once became dissatisfied with the circumambulation of the most powerful sun god. Encircling Sumeri hill on his chariot, the sun god illuminates all the surrounding planetary systems. So now we're talking about Maharaj's achievements and his observations. However, when the sun is on the northern side of the hill, the south receives less light. And when the sun is in the south, the north receives less. So King Priyavrata disliked this situation and therefore decided to make daylight in the part of the universe where there was night. He followed the orbit of the sun god on a brilliant chariot and thus fulfilled his desire. He could perform such wonderful activities because of the power he had achieved by worshipping the Supreme Personality Godhead. So Prabhupada says that there's a Bengali saying which describes that someone is so powerful that he can make the night day and day night. Or they say कि दिन रात एक कर दिए. We say that sometimes. Maybe that's an exact translation, but yeah. So, it just explains the power of a person. That saying is current because of the prowess of Priyavrata. His activities demonstrate how powerful he became by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna is known as Yogeshwar, the master of all mystic powers. In Bhagavad-Gita, it is said that wherever there is the master of mystic powers, Yatra Yogeshwar Krishna, victory, fortune, and all other opulences are present. That's the last verse in Bhagavad-Gita. Devotion service is so powerful. When a devotee achieves what he wants to accomplish, it is not by his own mystic power, but by the grace of the master of the mystic power. Lord Krishna, by his grace, a devotee can accomplish wonderful things, unimaginable even to the most powerful scientists. So when Priyavrata drove his chariot behind the sun, the rims of his chariot wheels created impressions that later became 7 oceans, dividing the planet system known as Bhumandal into 7 islands. Sometimes the planets in outer space are called islands. So we talk about 7 planets, or dividing the planet system known as Bhumandal into 7 islands. So it's saying that the islands are actually different planets. We have experience of various types of islands in the ocean. And similarly, the various planets divided into 14 lokas are islands in the ocean of space. So it's just a simile to explain to the islands in the sea. So these are the islands of the space rather than the sea. As Priyavrata drove his chariot behind the sun, he created 7 different types of oceans and planetary systems, which altogether are known as Bhumandal or Bhulok. In the Gayatri mantra, we chant Om Bhur Bhava Svaha Tat Savitar Varenyam. Above the Bhulok planet system is the Bhuvarlok, and above that is Svargalok, the heavenly planet system. All these planet systems are controlled by Savita, the sun god. By chanting the Gayatri mantra just after rising early in the morning, one worships the sun god. So the names of the islands are Jambu, Plaksh, Shalmali, Kush, Kraunch, Shak, and Puska. Each island is twice as large as one preceding it, and each is surrounded by liquid substance beyond, which is the next island. The 7 oceans respectively contain salt water, sugarcane juice, liquor, clarified butter, milk, emulsified yogurt, and sweet drinking water. All the islands are completely surrounded by these oceans, and each ocean is equal in breadth to the island it surrounds. Maharaja Priyavrata, the husband of Queen Brismati, gave sovereignty over these islands to his respected sons, namely Agnidhar, Hidamjiva, Yagyabahu, Hinyareta, Grihprastha, Medithi, and Vitihotra. Thus they all became, so these are all again names of Agni god. Thus they all became kings by the order of their father. Priyavrata then gave his daughter Ujswati in marriage to Shukracharya. We all know Shukracharya is the spiritual master of the demigods.
Demons.
Demons. Who's the
Daityas.
No, who's the spiritual master of the demigods?
Brihaspati.
Okay, so demons who begot in her a daughter named Devyani. My dear king, a devotee who has taken shelter of the dust from the lotus feet of the Lord can transcend the influence of the 6 material waves, namely hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. Okay, and he can conquer the mind and 5 senses. So by taking the shelter of the Lord, you can conquer all these things. These, never mind conquering demons and other planets and other countries, we can't even conquer our hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. how to conquer the other things, and especially the mind and the five senses. However, this is not a very wonderful for a pure devotee of the Lord, because even a person beyond the jurisdiction of the four castes, in other words, an untouchable, is immediately relieved of bondage to material existence if he utters the holy name of the Lord even once. So Shukadeva Goswami was speaking to Maharaj Parikshit about the activities of King Priyavrata, and since the king might have had doubts about these wonderful, uncommon activities, Shukadeva Goswami assured him, "My dear king," he said, "don't be doubtful about the wonderful activities of Priyavrata. For a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is possible." Actually, we read in the Srimad Bhagavatam that there's a lot of things that we hear about, we read, and it's like hard to imagine that it's even possible to do these things, But Shukadeva Goswami explained to Maharaj Parikshit that everything is possible for a devotee. So for a devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is possible because the Lord is known as Urukrama. Urukrama is a name for Lord Vamandev, who performed the wonderful act of occupying the three worlds with three footsteps. Now you think, how does somebody do that? It's hard to imagine. Lord Vamandev requested 3 pieces of land from Maharaj Bali, and when Maharaj Bali agreed to grant him, the Lord immediately covered the entire world with 2 footsteps. And for his 3rd step, he placed his foot upon Bali Maharaj's head. While enjoying his material opulence and full strength and influence, Maharaj Priyavrata once again began to consider that although he had fully surrendered to the great saint Narad and was actually on the path of Krishna consciousness, he had somehow become again entangled in material activities. So I'll just read that again. While enjoying his material opulences with full strength and influence, Maharaj Priyavrata once again began to consider that although he had fully surrendered to the great saint Narad and was actually on the path of Krishna consciousness, he had somehow become again entangled in material activities. Thus his mind now became restless, and he began to speak in a spirit of renunciation. So this is why it's important to check our bhakti on regularly, because although we might think, oh, we are advancing externally, we may think we are advancing, we're doing so well, we're getting so much gratitude, etc. But just check internally that are you really advancing, or do you have things going on in your head which are not conducive to your bhakti? Internally, are you advancing? That's most important. Externally, you may seem that everything's going well, but what's happening inside? Because what's happening inside can change things just like that. It doesn't matter. You become a sannyasi. If things are not going right internally, then that you can fall down straight away, just within a split second. So the king thus began criticizing himself. Alas, how condemned I have become because of my sense gratification. So he got carried away. It's very easily done. He was human as well. He's not God, he's human. I have now fallen into material enjoyment, which is exactly like a covered well. I've had enough. I'm not going to enjoy anymore. Just see how I have become a dancing monkey in the hands of my wife. Because of this, I am condemned. this is amazing. So yeah, energy is very strong. Even somebody as exalted as Maharaj Priyavrata, who always tried to do the right thing, always tried to remember the Lord, always tried to avoid material energy, feels that he has become a dancing monkey in the hands of his wife. By the grace of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Maharaj Priyavrata reawakened to his senses. Actually, just going back, so he felt he had become a dancing monkey in the hands of his wife. So actually just thinking that means his wife, she was not really that
Devoted.
spiritual or devotional or Krishna conscious. So very important for husband and wife to be on the same level. Otherwise, the other one can, can cause a fall down to his partner or her partner. So very important that bhakti is done together by husband and wife. When one person is doing, the other person can bring them down because of the association. So we talk about association of people who are not good for our bhakti. It can happen in our family as well. So very important we keep them up to speed. Make sure they can catch up with us in bhakti, because that we are taking the association day in day out. Very important we're taking the right association, and to take the right association, you try and encourage them to do the same as what you're doing. Otherwise, they can cause problems. By the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Maharaj Priyavrata awakened to his senses. So he just falling in the slumber of Maya, and now he's suddenly, he's waking up. What am I doing? What am I doing? He divided all his earthly possessions among his obedient sons. He gave up everything, including his wife, I'm afraid, here. And there are other exalted devotees who have taken their wives to the forest as well, because the wives were helping him in their bhakti. So in this case, his wife was not helping him in his bhakti. She was hindrance to his bhakti. So he gave her up. So with whom he had enjoyed so much sense gratification and his great and opulent kingdom. And he completely renounced all attachment. His heart, having been cleansed, became a place of pastimes for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, he was able to return to the path of Krishna consciousness, spiritual life, and resume the position he had attained by the grace of the great saint Narada. There are many famous verses regarding Maharaj Priyavrata activities. No one but the Supreme Personality of Godhead could do what Maharaj Priyavrata has done. Maharaj Priyavrata dissipated the darkness of night, and with the rims of his great chariot, he excavated 7 oceans. There are many excellent verses famous all over the world concerning the activities of Maharaj Priyavrata. He is so celebrated that his activities are compared to those of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes a sincere servant and devotee of the Lord is also called Bhagwan. Shri Narada is called Bhagwan, and Lord Shiva and Vyasdev are also sometimes called Bhagwan. This designation, Bhagwan, is sometimes conferred upon a pure devotee by the grace of the Lord, so that he will be very highly esteemed. Maharaj Priyavrata was such a devotee. So just because somebody is called Bhagwan, that doesn't mean they are God, or the only Supreme Personality of Godhead is God. They are just exalted. They're given that high position. Bhagwan does not necessarily mean God himself. To stop the quarreling among different people, Maharaj Priyavrata marked boundaries at rivers and at the edges of mountains and forests, so that no one would trespass upon another's property. So this was going on from the beginning. They had to make boundaries, so everybody knew what belonged to them, or what their territories were divided. So as a great follower and devotee of the sage Narad, Maharaj Priyavrata considered hellish the opulences he had achieved by dint of fruity activities and mystic power, whether in the lower or heavenly planet systems or in human society. So he considered hellish the opulence he had achieved. It's amazing. So thank you so much. I don't know what's happened to Subhrashi Mataji today. I hope she's well. Thank you for joining, Mother Shamsundar Prabhu and Praveen Mataji. Mother Shamsundar Prabhu, please tell us anything you liked in this talk, in this reading. Hare Krishna Prabhu, nice to have you here.
Hari Bol Prabhu, you okay?
Good, Prabhuji, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I just joined you in the halfway, so I can't say anything. All I can say, very nice class.
So, Prabhu, what do you think about like in a family, if the husband or the wife are very religious and the husband or wife or the other partner is not really, following any religious principles. Maybe they like to go for a drink, and I've seen that myself. The husband, he likes to drink, eat meat, go out, enjoy in that way, whereas the wife would be happy to go to the temple or gurudwara and do bhakti. So, do you think that is possible to carry on like that?
No, I don't think so because they're both in different directions.
Yeah. So you think that's what
So
creates a barrier between them or splits them, makes a gap between them?
it makes a gaps between them, and the case can cause trouble in the later on in the future.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. But sometimes they say that if wife is religious, she can bring the husband, not all of them, not all of them. So where some are very determined not to change, right? So
This
sometimes,
can happen sometime, but not possible.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Not always possible. So yeah, it's a difficult situation. So Priyavrata Maharaj, I mean, not everybody can do that, or they have the confidence to do that, or have the courage to do that. They can give up. He gave up everything. He realized, because from the beginning his mentality was that he wants to do bhakti. Then he got stuck in grista life, which he never really wanted to, but he started enjoying it. This is the thing. He started enjoying it. So material energy is so strong that you can actually start enjoying it, even though you don't want to. You have no interest, but you actually start thinking, oh, this is not bad as I thought. You just get it's just, or you get into illusion by the material energy that it just takes over your mind, your senses, right?
Yeah, you are right. Yeah, but like you said, that's why I said devotee always should get a married to devotee person.
Yes, a good point, very good point. Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah,
So if you're a
yeah.
devotee, then you should marry a devotee. So you think a person should get initiation before marriage, or wait until they got married?
I I can't say. I think it's better to go in the initiated after marriage.
Yeah, work at it together, right? Husband and wife.
Yeah, work like together then as a couple.
Yes, yes, very good. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
Okay.
Stay
Okay.
online.
Thank you.
Stay online. We'll discuss a bit more. Parveen Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Thank you for the class. Yes, it's very nice to hear the importance of Grihastha life, how important it is to be on the same level for a husband and wife
Hmm.
and to live peacefully in the married life. Then only we can have children and pass on, the right sanskars to them. And I'll just say my example. So I'm glad you persuaded my Prabhu to do Bhakti Shastri. And so he came, we did it together. And then I was encouraged to take shelter. And then I said, no, I want to wait for my Prabhu, for initiation and everything, because that's what I thought, because it doesn't make, although we are both following four regulative principles, but I wanted to be at the same level with him. So, because I thought there's no point me getting initiated and he's not. So, so hoping for Krishna's mercy and get initiated at the same time, because as a husband and wife, that's the right thing. So I'm glad after hearing this, I've made the right decision. And then from Priyavrata's example, we learned that it doesn't matter how exalted you are, we have to keep our senses in control, because Mahamaya is very, very strong, and we can forget Krishna and just get carried away. So it is very, very important to introspect, like you said, from time to time, that only externally we are not progressing, and internals, we are checking on our vices, and with the shelter of Krishna we can control our vices. So He is so merciful. I was listening to Radhanath Maharaj's class. He was speaking on this point as well, um, um, Mahamaya. And what was the other point I was going to say? Sorry, it's just gone. I don't know what I wanted to say. Yeah, but the shelter of Lord, is very, very important. So we just have to take protection of Krishna. And like they say, the sar of Bhagavad-Gita is to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So stay under his shelter all the time. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Adi. Yeah, it's, end of the day, it's all illusion, isn't it? It's like, simple example, we put sugar in in a drink. We want a sweet drink, so say tea, caffeine-free tea. We put sugar in there and think, oh, I can never, sometimes you would say, oh, there's not enough sugar in this, or somebody forgot to put the sugar in this. And then suddenly you decide, okay, I'm going to have tea without sugar. And if you've decided, then it doesn't bother you anymore. But you haven't decided, you complain that, oh, why is there no sugar in it? But once you've decided, okay, now on, I'm going to drink without sugar. And then you don't think about it anymore. It becomes a normal thing, right? So everything, this Maya, actually, it's all here. It's all in the mind. And we just follow it. We follow it. We get in the illusion, we follow it. But if you awaken to it, or you just decide, no, I'm not going to follow it, and you stick to it, then the mind stops complaining because you've decided. That's it. Like a child. No, you must do it this way. Now you have to go to school, or you have to take a shower. Now it's decided. That's it. You have no choice. So we say to ourselves, right, you don't have any choice here. This is the right thing to do. You have to just stop getting attached to Maya. You have to do this. And then, if you can do it. It's we're seeing that. I mean, we're following now. We're all following. So it is possible by talking to yourself, tell yourself, right, now on, we're going to do it this way. And then don't keep reflecting on it. Or did I do it right? Or is that the right thing to do? Or was the other thing better? Or was like taking sugar was better or not better? Just decide it. Just follow it. Don't look back. That's the best.
That's the key, not to look back and not to regret our decisions. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes mind comes to, we all sometimes have doubts. So it comes in the mind sometimes, like I think I've discussed it before, like there's a festival or, like Christmas time maybe, or something, Diwali time maybe, and, used to go out, to a party or get together with friends and have a material life, basically. Now sometimes we used to miss that, but then you remind yourself that you gave it all up for a reason. When you gave it up consciously. You made a conscious decision to give it up. Now, you've just forgotten that you made a conscious decision. You're just thinking, what did I do? What happened? How did this happen? What did I do? But then you remind yourself, no, I did whatever I did it consciously, because at that time I had good reasons to do it. And I had realized just chewing the chewed and just wasting time, life's too precious to waste it like that on those things. You've been there, you've done that.
Life after life.
You had fun, and it's not getting better. It's not getting more enjoyable. In fact, it gets less enjoyable. The more you enjoy, it gets less enjoyable, because you get bored after a bit.
You want more and more then, yeah.
Yeah. So anything, most exciting thing, it might seem good at first, then after a bit you get bored. You think, okay, I've had enough. Your senses get tired, right? So
because that's the reason why people are not happy, because they keep getting more and more, and then they want more.
yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And they want more and more new things every day, and that is not possible.
yes.
And they're not getting younger. the health is going to cause them obstructions in their enjoyment, and they don't realize this. They think that they're going to be like this forever. They think they're like
Yeah.
them.
And not happy to accept, Mataji, the age as well, because
No, you look around. There was a time when in many decades back when people used to accept the old age so gracefully. Nowadays,
yeah,
you can't tell that who is what age, because
yeah,
everybody is like properly dyed black, jet black hair or blonde or everything. So
mm,
everybody's under so much illusion. Problem is nobody's minding their mind. That's the problem. They're just getting
mm,
swayed away with the perceptions of the mind, and whatever mind says they will do. And this is happening. What the problem, I was hearing a lecture, they were saying, because people are letting Maya control them, that's why they have so many problems. They're like, now the Shraddhs have begun from today, Pitru Paksh. So many people, actually, they say most of the society doesn't follow this anymore. And it's a shame.
yes,
It's a big shame when you hear the lectures properly, that how important it is.
yeah, yeah.
And so this is just an example that how everybody is so much engrossed with themselves. From
It's
the moment they wake up,
just,
the moment they go to sleep, all they want to do is just worship themselves, basically. That's the problem, isn't it? They don't want to worship God. They think that they are the prime deity. That's what I think. And when you think that this way about the society, then you also keep yourself in check, that look, I'm not going to get carried away with these, because I have done this life after life after life. Prabhupada has explained this so clearly, and Bhagavatam is explaining us, like, through the examples of these high devotees who excavated the oceans. Amazing. And at the same time, he also got swayed away in the direction of Maya. So Bhagwan has given us so clear examples, and shame on us that we keep hearing them and discussing them, and we still think that, oh, we're not sure about a destination. That will be utterly shameful for us, that would, like, we wasted this life again, like we've done. God knows how many millions life we have wasted already.
yeah.
Wonderful. So
So now we are grateful to Prabhupada ji, what he's given us, at least,
Absolutely.
we know what is the right thing, and hopefully we'll just carry on like this.
Yeah,
And Mataji, I just wanted to quickly check, because before you said we should read chapter 8 and 14. Yeah, is that right?
yeah.
Bhagavad-Gita. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, because it's important to understand. But then, Mataji and Prabhuji, I also heard when they said, like, if you are like in Krishna consciousness, you don't have to do, Pitru Paksha and all that. I've heard that as well.
That No, Mataji, I was so very confused about that as well. I think
Yeah,
that is for the sannyasis who have already done their shraddh. When they
yeah, right.
sannyas, they do their own shraddh.
Yes,
But for us as grihasthas, we have to be like good role models for our kids and for the society.
yeah.
We are not that exalted that, okay,
No, no, yeah, yeah. No, that's what I
we
feel
have to
like.
we have
Yeah,
to
thank you.
because
Yeah.
there are three rins: Pitri rin, Dev rin, and Rishi rin. And
Mm.
Pitru is very important because we are here because of the Pitrus.
forefathers.
They brought us in this line.
Yeah.
They are instrumental for us, giving us this vansh wherever we are. And if it wasn't for this vehicle, we wouldn't be able to do this bhakti. So no,
No,
we should follow everything. If you see the Vaishnav calendar, it's clearly written that it starts on this day and ends on this. That means it is important.
it is important. Yeah. So, Mataji, if you can, sorry, tell me, because like again, I'm getting different information because it's second year for my mother-in-law, and somebody is saying it is dry for 2 years. You just give dry, and then somebody is saying no, you do food and all that. So I
No,
don't know whether you.
you give you if you can find somebody. It's very difficult to find, Mataji, here somebody who is going to sit down and eat the proper meal
Eat, yeah.
that you
But then I've also heard Mataji,
the
they say
Brahman.
you can. Yesterday I was listening to this katha, and he was saying that you can make food, offer to your like my mother-in-law, and then you can cows we don't again have here, and you can give it to the crows. You can offer it to the crows then.
You can. And another thing is that they say that the best thing to do is do the kirtan in this time, and then
Yeah.
you can feed the devotees. That's another good way.
But then how do we do it? So like if we are feeding the devotees, then who is it still offered to the Lord then?
No, if you want to do on the date of the departed person, or if you don't have actually you can do on any day. I was hearing that it's important to, it's good to do on the date, but if you can't, you can do any date. And the
No, they said then do it if you don't know the date, then do it on Amavasya, the last one. Yeah.
You can, if you can't find a good Brahmins, I was hearing they say it's okay, we can just give the stuff, the raw ingredients, or if you want to offer the cooked ones to temple or something, because it's very hard here. Here it's different, and even in India I've heard that it's similar. Brahmins are available like that as such.
Yeah. Now once, like about 3 years ago, actually I found one of like Hare Krishna devotees. He did it, so I sent the money, and then we did like Zoom meeting. And Prabhuji, he did all the puja, and then he took the food cooked for so many people and took it to the Ganges, and he fed the people there. So I felt very good, and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, they were very happy as well.
Yeah.
So they said, well done, So, but then the Prabhuji became ill after that, so I didn't manage to do it again.
You can give it to the cows as well. That is very good as well. Serving cows is also very good at this.
Yeah, because I was thinking now we've got a Himsa cow, so I'll pay for the bail as well for this month, so it's
And
good.
even in India, you can send if you've got some contacts.
Yeah, my sister, she's there, so I always give her money, so she always goes and feed cows, and so yeah. We're trying to do, because like even here I keep, like I feed the crows, and they say it is good to give the grains because that goes to your pitra as well. So I go every day to feed the crows,
Especially in this period.
yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll do it now. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Let's do a couple of rounds.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Rather than now, we've got time for 2 rounds. It's fine. You can do, Mataji, you can do the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
And one of us will do the second one.